Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am KozMcKev, your host, and this is for the week beginning Friday, May 22nd, 2020. So, what just happened? Well, now we are in the midst of 4 retrograde planets, which is a lot to have retrograde right now. So what's going retrograde? Well, we've got Venus, and we have Jupiter, and we have Saturn, and and we have Pluto. So all in all, there's our 4 retrogrades. Now the nodes of the moon are always retrograde, so that doesn't change. What else happened? Mars is in Pisces now. We got that. Any other? Mercury's in Gemini. We have that. Jupiter in Capricorn. Saturn in Aquarius. Uranus in Taurus. Neptune in Pisces. Yeah, everyone else is, behaving where they are. Okay, so what do we call this when all the planets are in one side of the chart? We call it Kalsarpa Yoga. Okay. Kalsarpa Yoga is it's a Vedic astrology term, but it really doesn't matter in the sense that even in Western astrology, all the planets are on one side. We don't usually pay attention to Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Vedic astrology, so they wouldn't be a thing. And yes, all the planets are about 24 degrees back from the sign they're in, and there's 30 degrees to every sign. So basically what you do is you go back one sign, add 6 degrees, and then there you got it. That's the formula for sidereal. And that represents closer to what's actual sky that you see out at night. So, so we've got ourselves a moon in Taurus, and on the constellation of Taurus. Actually, in Western astrology, moon's going to be in Gemini, but we're going to say the moon's in Kritika today for Friday. Kritika Nakshatra. Now, Kritika Nakshatra is about, it's ruled by the sun. Gold's one of its qualities and symbols. Its symbol is the razor, though, or the knife. And so there's this cutting ability, and its ruling deity is Agni, the god of fire. So there's like this combustion in Kritika, but there's also honesty and deep truths. The sun is always related to truths. Kritika is located in the Pleiades, and they're said to, it's a good one for adopting children or being a foster parent. That Kritika accepts families' situations as they are, but they can be honest to such a point that it's painful. Now we have a new moon today, and the new moon is at 10:39 a.m. And so I believe the new moon is in Kritika Nakshatra as well. And so this quality of honesty, this quality of cutting through the BS, that is the theme for the next month. Think about that. I mean, because there's a lot of BS right now, and we don't know what's real, and people are really convinced, oh, this is it, this big news agency's pumping up these people, they must be great. These people are on fake news, they must be wrong. And neither one is necessarily correct. There's a lot of gray area in this whole thing, and people should be aware of that. Now, because the moon is not in a, this would be a new moon in Gemini in Western astrology, tropical astrology, and there's really, there's a stellium in Gemini. So we've got Venus, North Node, Moon and Mercury and Sun. So that's 5 things. That's a lot of Gemini. So there's going to be 2 sides of the story. We're going to be hearing this all the time in this period. And I'm just so glad you're here and you join me. So one by one, sign by sign, starting with you, Aries. So greetings, Aries, and welcome to your horoscope. The truth of the matter, what is that? Well, it's that we need to be able to move forward. And right now you're moving forward by swimming, swimming the tide. And, Neptune's there, Mars is there, and there's this kind of feeling like swimming is good therapy. Being alone is good therapy right now. Meditating. Doing a spiritual practice like yoga or Tai Chi, Aikido, something like that, that would probably go a long way during your thing. And if you're lucky enough to have a place where you're allowed to swim, like a lake or creek or ocean, this would probably be good therapy for you right now. A lot of stuff in your 3rd house. So everything's dealing with communication. And things are, they are what they are. And so, like Edward Snowden says, it's sort of like a surveillance state, so. I mean, I always think to myself, it's got to be really boring surveilling people in a lot of ways, because most of them don't do anything that interesting. So we've got Jupiter and Pluto, getting together in this tight conjunction. It's in your 9th house. There's a chance of a miracle. That's what I want to say. There's a chance of a miracle. I guess it's in your 10th house. So this could be a miracle in your career life. Look forward in the next 6 months or so. Okay. Here we go. Greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. Alright, so pressure's off from last week. Now Sun's in Gemini. So that's your 2nd house. Everything's all about money right now. So it's like, whatever you think about money, whatever you do with your money, whatever you're feeling with your money, it's really nice to consider that. And everyone's got your family is the other thing. And anything involving your mouth, teeth, throat, those things can be more of an issue right now too. And in a lot of ways, since the whole, COVID-19 thing involves the lungs, Gemini rules the lungs, there's a heck of a lot of planets in Gemini right now. And we don't know about this whole thing. So it's pretty amazing. And speaking of which, well, Venus in the 2nd house too. I mean, it's just family, voice, money for Taurus. Here we go, Gemini. Greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. Now, this is the big new moon for you. This is where it really comes together. You feel renewed. And you're ready to take charge and do whatever it takes to come out on top, I suppose. And right now you are at the top of your game in every way. Venus is far away still, reasonably far away from the sun, but it's getting closer. And it's going to go combust, and it's going to come back again, and it's going to be wild. And the truth about matters of the heart, that's a hard thing for anyone to necessarily deal with, because so much about, since like Venus is exalted in Pisces, a lot of it's like, we just are bliss, love is like a drug, and we're not really paying attention to anything, that whole love is blind concept. And whenever Venus gets near the sun, it's almost like somebody turned on the lights. And you're operating stronger with Mars and Pisces, actually, because it's in your 10th house. It's there with Neptune. That sort of softens it up. but it's like spiritual martial arts, you know. Back in the 70s, there was a series on TV called Kung Fu with David Carradine or somebody like that. And he was a martial arts guy, and, you know, he would let himself get beat a little bit. And then finally, in self-defense, he would, you know, take care of business and take out a few angry cowboys at once. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. Yeah, I mean, this is a time you have to really walk softly. I don't know about the big stick thing. I mean, you want an adventure, and so if you're going to like a spiritual retreat, like a backpacking or something, that's probably going to be okay. All right, you're out there, you're in nature, you're safe. That's going to be good. Places where there are a lot of people, definitely to be avoided. Right now, it's so easy to be a part of your own undoing. You got all these planets in the house of loss, and I'm not saying this to like scare you or anything. If you direct your life to making good karma, paying your debts, helping other people, you're going to be fine. You're going to go through this seamlessly. Now, on the other hand, there's not a lot of you time. You know, I get the feeling that a lot of you are living with other people and you're sort of like stay in place quarantine and you've driven each other nuts and the weather's warmer and you need to get outside. And getting outside, from what I understand and done research, no one's argued with this, is that you're 15 times less likely to contract the virus outside. So that's an important thing, you know. And you have to also ask yourself too, do billionaires really want to keep you alive? Outside of buying their stuff, I'm not sure. All right, so greetings, Leo, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so for all my friends in Leo land, well, I mean, you're doing things for others. You're helping others, and in some ways, you know, you're doing better too. I think there's some relief. There's some miracle in your health field about to happen. Partnership issues are still a little like, pretty hard. You want to be able to swim, dance, and you have, you know, there's a little bit of like past life karmic debt you're paying for. You're highly likely to be electronically overwhelmed at work with Uranus in the midheaven, and there's new ways of doing things because of this whole new paradigm. And your social life, believe it or not, is emphasized. So does that mean that a lot of Leos will be breaking breaking the social isolation thing? I kind of think so, a little bit. It's happening. Well, greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. Well, for Virgo, let's talk Mercury first. You know, I mean, you're going to do some of your best work. That's what I think about you in this new moon. You're actually going to show a lot of responsibility, a lot of capability, and you're going to do okay. So there is the good news for you. I mean, the problem, Virgo, is that you have to do so many things for other people right now. There isn't a lot of you time. And relationships are confusing, you know, I would say that. And, you know, you might be likely to get called out more in relationships, but at the same time, you're trying to be as gentle and kind as possible. And I get that, and I appreciate you for it. And, you know, you're enjoying children, creative expression, all of that's still working for you. And you just having discipline, you know, that's going to take you places. Discipline. Well. Greetings, my fair Libra. What a wonderful time for this. Okay, so what is happening with you? Well, first of all, we've got Venus retrograde in Gemini, and it's sort of like, whenever a planet goes retrograde, it gets closer to the Earth. So in a lot of ways, its effect is stronger. And people say, oh, it's internalized. Yeah, that's true too, but there's this other thing of where the whole energy is stronger. And depending on how friendly you are with that energy is going to determine how well you're going to work with it. So, I would just say, this is a time of the guru. This is a time of spiritual development for you. This is a time to reconcile with your father if you ever needed to do that. And you might be embarking on a trip of some sort, and maybe you have to do it in secret. Isn't that wild? And people in other countries have had to live like this for years, and more totalitarian dictatorships and stuff. I mean, places like North Korea or something, they don't really, I don't think this is a big deal for them. I think they're probably used to it. So you want to use them as a model. Long-term creative projects. They go really well right now. And so keep on working on them. Keep on perfecting them. Love should be there for healing. I don't have my Chiron planet thing, but Chiron's in your 7th house. And so there's sort of like the way out for you is to be bold as a healer. Okay. Now we go to Scorpio. So, with Scorpio, we're looking at Mars, and we've got Mars in the 5th house in Pisces with Neptune. And it's pretty good. It's like you have a lot more energy. Maybe that energy's for swimming. Maybe that energy's for your children, if it's male children or very active children, that especially. There's Uranus in the 7th house. If you're in a relationship, it's kind of unusual. There's this sort of unusual, unpredictable, or sometimes surprising, shocking quality. And then, of course, we've got Mercury, Moon, all of that stuff in Gemini, Venus, Sun, North Node, all in your 8th house. So in some ways, this makes you more Scorpio than ever right now. And it also makes you kind of vulnerable to a lot of stuff, like other people have the power and you just have to surrender. There's like this whole feeling of like, oh my God, I got to surrender, whatever she wants to do. That's just what's happening, and I'm just going to go with that. Yeah, I would say so. But, matters of the heart matter. And things can get crazy, You might find if you've had a dry spell, you might find the love of your life, and it could be really scary. It may go good for a really long time and then not. Okay. So here we go. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. God, everything is relationship for you right now. Sagittarians, they're very strategic. Let's put that off. And if anyone who's probably going to get in a relationship during the quarantine, it's likely going to be Sagittarius. Will they break quarantine to get together? Oh my God, they will. Yes, you better believe it. I mean, look, Rahu's there. The North Node's there. Rahu, the North Node, is all about breaking rules. And, Western astrologers, by and large, fail to note this. This is a very significant thing. This is from old East Indian astrology. They put on a face. A lot of politicians, they put on that fake face. It's Rahu. A lot of those mainstream newscasters, TV people, it's Rahu, folks. It is Rahu. So we are going to have more talking head business than we've ever had before. And, I mean, within that, there could be romance, there could be intrigue. everybody wants to be your baby. And it's so nice to have a baby during quarantine. Right? Okay. All right. So, greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. So, got Pluto in the first house. We got Jupiter there too. Well, let's see. Mercury is in the sixth house. So Mercury's acting really strong. Mercury is helping you clean things up. There's a lot of work. It's like for Capricorn, it's all about work, work, and more work. And will continue to be work. And, eventually Saturn's going to retrograde right back into your sign. So I wouldn't be too cavalier. I wouldn't be too smug. I wouldn't be worried either. But yeah, it's a different kind of reality place to be in and to consider. And you have a lot of insights right now, but you're really working hard. You're really trying hard to get organized. You're trying hard to get all those ducks in a row so yeah, you can make the move. Because really, 2020 has been mostly about you in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's probably a little bit about the next sign as well. You have a lot of courage right now, Capricorn. That's another thing, Mars in the third house, great place for Mars, in Pisces, but it works for you. And Neptune's there, so you're getting courage to be in your spiritual truth. Okay. Well, greetings, Aquarius, and welcome, welcome, welcome to your horoscope. So, what are we seeing today? Well, there's so many different things we're seeing. Having Saturn in the first house, Saturn's retrograde. Mars is no longer in your first house, but we've got Pluto on one side, Mars on the other side of your ascendant. So you're kind of locked into this position of, hey, transformation is happening. And how are you going to respond to this transformation? Now, the good news is that all these planets in Gemini are in your fifth house. The fifth house is children. Fifth house is love affairs. Fifth house is being a teacher. It's being an entertainer. It's working your creative expression to its highest value. And being more educated, being able to take on information. And, I will go back to after Kennedy's assassination, the CIA created the phrase conspiracy theory because people really questioned whether Oswald, killed the president. Harvey Oswald got shot by Jack Ruby before trial or anything ever even happened. And they took Kennedy's brain out. So, there's all kinds of weird, things that happen. But in order to say all is well, listen to the official narrative, they developed the terminology conspiracy theory. And it's worked great, for 9/11. It's working great for COVID-19. And for people that are really awake, that phrase is a red flag. And it means don't investigate this because you might find out something where we get caught, the people in power. Yeah, so they're not all true. I don't say that, but it's be really careful about this stuff because I see a lot of, well-intentioned liberal thinkers basically falling into Stockholm syndrome with their oppressors and just going, oh, well, whatever they say, I'll do because I want to be safe. And I get it. We all want to be safe. Being safe is nice. It might be boring, but it's nice. Greetings, Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope. So, this is a time for you to really look within. What brings you happiness? Now, there's all these planets in Gemini. They're all in your fourth house. So, it's about family. This is about tribe. This is about your ancestry. It's also about fixed assets. You know, if you own a house or a car, you're selling or buying something like that. There's a lot of energy here towards that. Now, you seem more commanding than usual. I mean, I've had people say that Pisces are the wimps of the zodiac, but when you got Mars in the first house, come on, right? And I mean, the Native American tropical astrology version of Pisces is the mountain lion. You know, that doesn't seem like a wimpy animal to me at all. I mean, shit, they attack joggers and stuff, and they definitely will get your livestock out here in the Ishi Nation or state of Jefferson or whatever you want to call it. So you got to be careful. But you're really a compassionate person, so it's like you're flowing with, you're becoming like what I'd call a warrior of the heart, and moving into a better direction. Things might be somewhat unstable, but there's this meeting of some sort. You're working on stability. Anything involving your mother, too, is extra charged at this time. So, I'm going to just go on a quick little recap of everything that's going on right now from what I said earlier today. We're in Kalsarpa Yoga, and that means all the planets are on one side of a chart. And right now, there is a stellium of 5 of them in Gemini with this new moon. And so once the new moon passes, and after a couple days, the moon's going to be in Cancer, and then in Leo, and we'll be out of Kalsarpa Yoga for another 10 days or so. And then we go right back in it again. Well, maybe, it's going to start to break up a little bit. And so we can expect to see some improvements in general. Hey, don't be afraid. Perfect love casts out all fear. And do what you can to connect with your loved ones. And I could go back to snail mail. I like the post office. I'd be willing to say I'd like you to help them out. Buy some stamps and stuff. I will be with you next week when we're going to do this again. Don't forget to like this video. I want to see more subscriptions. And I love it when you share it with your friends. KozMcKev, the Planetary Persuader. I am out.